But imagine if, in that loneliness, you start feeling that you're not really alone, and that every night some mysterious danger is slowly moving toward you. Would you survive? Friends, today we're going to explain Cold Skin, a film that takes you to the edge of survival, fear, and the limits of humanity. The story begins with a man named Friend, who worked as a weather observer. The government wanted to collect weather data from a remote island, so they sent Friend there to monitor the climate for an entire year. He was taken to the island by ship. His duty was to send regular weather reports to the government. A small house had already been built for him to stay in throughout the year. While exploring, he notices a lighthouse nearby. The ship's captain and Friend head there and meet a man who lived inside. His name was Gruner. The captain asks Gruner about the previous weather observer, who was supposed to be taken back with them. Gruner tells them that the man died of illness. When the captain asks about his body, Gruner says he went out sick one day and never came back, maybe drowned. The captain then leaves but warns Friend before departing. This island is dangerous. Take care of yourself. Friend enters the house and finds the old observer's diary. It contains a sketch of the lighthouse and drawings of strange, unknown creatures. He assumes the man must have been lonely and created those drawings out of boredom. Later, Friend falls asleep. One night, while sitting quietly, he senses someone outside. When he checks the door, he sees a strange hand reaching under it. Something that doesn't look human. Terrified, Friend hides in the basement and stays there all night. The next morning, he finds odd footprints leading from his house toward the sea. Confused and scared, Friend goes to see Gruner at the lighthouse. But Gruner refuses to open the door and coldly says, "You should have gone with them." Realizing those creatures might return, Friend builds a wooden barricade around his house and arms himself with rifles he finds inside. As night falls, the creatures return. Friend shoots at them, but they come in huge numbers. To stop them from climbing over, he sets the barricade on fire, but the flames spread to his own house. He barely escapes as the creatures retreat because of the fire. The next morning, Gruner appears to fetch water. Friend encounters one of the creatures, but before he shoots, Gruner shouts, "Don't shoot. She won't harm you." Gruner calls the creature, and she calmly walks toward him. Gruner invites Friend to live with him at the lighthouse, saying he has enough supplies there. That same creature lives with him too. He explains that she once attacked him, but he managed to tame her. Now she's like his pet. Friend asks, "Why didn't you leave with my ship? You could have gone back." Gruner replies, "I don't want to go back. This is my world now. I'm the king here. I live and eat as I wish." Friend says, "Fine, but when the next ship comes, I'll leave." Gruner laughs, "No ship comes here. Yours was one of the few, and it won't return for a year." He warns Friend not to worry. The creatures attack only at night. That night, Gruner lets the female creature, named later as Anaris, cry out on the roof. Hearing her, dozens of creatures attack the lighthouse. Gruner keeps shooting while Friend freezes in fear and faints. By morning, Gruner tells Friend, "If you want to live here, you'll have to fight. Get stronger." Later, Friend sees Gruner behaving intimately with the female creature, which disturbs him deeply. That night, when the creatures attack again, Friend fights bravely. Gruner locks him outside, forcing him to face them alone. Somehow, Friend survives until dawn. Even though they now live together, there's no friendship, only uneasy coexistence. One night, the creatures stop attacking. Friend says, "Maybe they're afraid of us now." Gruner replies, "No, they're reproducing. They'll come back, stronger." Friend starts feeling sympathy for the female creature living with them and names her Anaris. Months pass peacefully. They even start playing chess, until one night they forget to light the lighthouse. The creatures attack again. Gruner is injured, but they survive. Anaris licks Gruner's wound, and her saliva heals it. She has regenerative power. One day, Friend sees a ship offshore. He grabs a flare gun to signal for help, but Gruner stops him. He doesn't want anyone to come. Friend, desperate to leave, argues, and Anaris attacks Gruner in anger. Gruner beats her brutally, and she flees. Later, Friend learns that the ship Gruner mentioned was Portuguese. When they once came, the sea creatures dragged them under before they could even reach the shore. Friend insists they check the sunken ship for dynamite. Gruner refuses, saying he's not interested. Finally, Friend dives underwater himself and finds boxes of dynamite. He ties them to a rope, sending them up to Gruner, but the creature's children appear. He signals Gruner for help by tugging the rope 3 times, but Gruner doesn't respond. He wants him to die, Friend barely escapes and brings the explosives back. They set traps all around the lighthouse. A week passes and no attack. The island grows colder. Snow begins to fall. Gruner becomes frustrated and furious, screaming, "What game are these monsters playing with me?" He tries to kill Anaris, but Friend stops him. Jealousy and madness consume Gruner. That night, Gruner forces Anaris onto the roof and makes her cry out to lure the creatures again. They come in massive numbers. Gruner detonates the dynamite. All the creatures die and both men are badly wounded. Anaris disappears. The next day, Anaris returns with many other creatures. Friend realizes they never truly wanted war. They only wanted peace. It was Gruner's hatred that caused all this. Gruner points his gun at Friend, forcing him inside. But Anaris refuses to leave. She glares at Gruner with anger. Gruner breaks down, shouting like a madman, "What do you want from me?" He goes back into the lighthouse while outside, Friend gives a small creature a toy ship made of bone. Gruner suddenly shoots the creature dead. Night falls. The creatures retreat into the sea. When Friend confronts Gruner, Gruner nearly kills him, until Friend calls him by his real name. He reveals, "I know who you are. You were the previous weather observer." Gruner is shocked. His secret is exposed. He never wanted anyone to know. He steps outside where the creatures finally kill him. Now Friend is alone on the island. A year later, another ship arrives with a new weather observer and the same captain. They find Friend, now bearded and wild-looking, and mistake him for Gruner. When they ask about the previous observer, he gives the same answer Gruner once gave. He died of illness. Friend has now become like Gruner, quiet, reclusive, and unwilling to leave. As the crew searches the area, Anaris jumps into the ocean. It's clear she and Friend have been living together in peace. He no longer wants to leave, and that's where the movie ends.